Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we have a true classic of mobile engineering on our desk, the legendary 2008 ThinkPad X200. Just look at the design. No touchpad, just the pure trackpoint experience. This machine is powered by an Intel Core 2 Duo P8600 processor clocked at 2.4 GHz and has been upgraded with 4 GB of DDR3 RAM and a standard 120 GB solid-state drive. Now, if you were to try running the latest Windows 10 or Windows 11 on this Core 2 Duo processor, the experience would be extremely sluggish. CPU utilization would constantly spike to 100%, simply to handle background telemetry data and modern desktop layouts. But we're not going to let this classic chip go to waste. That's what the Silicon Revival project is all about. Today, we'll be carrying out a complete, real-time, long-term installation of Loc-OS Linux 23, codenamed Tutti. For this particular release, we've opted for the LXDE desktop environment. Why choose Loc-OS 23? Because it is a highly optimized branch based on Debian 12 Bookworm. But with one major difference, it has completely abandoned systemd in favor of sysv init. Combined with the ultra-lightweight LXDE desktop environment, this distribution is designed to reduce resource consumption to an absolute minimum. This will be a comprehensive tutorial video. There will be no editing or skipping of steps during the installation process. We will walk through the entire process live. Make yourself a cup of coffee or tea, sit back and relax, and let's breathe new life into this ThinkPad X200 together. Our first step is to obtain the Loc-OS 23 ISO file. This step requires a fully functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for Loc-OS on Google, and visit the official Loc-OS website. At the top of the Loc-OS page, you will see a Discargar button. Click it to be redirected to the download page. You will then see that there are several versions of Loc-OS available. The version we need for this guide is the 64-bit version of Loc-OS LXDE. Loc-OS offers a variety of download methods. Please select the one that best suits your needs to begin. The Loc-OS ISO file is approximately 1.43 gigabytes in size, which usually takes a little time to download, so please be patient. Once you have obtained the ISO file, you will need to create a bootable USB drive. This will serve as your installation medium. To do this, I strongly recommend using the Rufus tool on Windows, or the Balena Etcher tool on Windows, macOS, or Linux. Both tools are free, open source, and very easy to use. Once you have downloaded the Loc-OS ISO file and installed Etcher, insert your USB drive. When you open Etcher, the interface is very straightforward. 3 steps will be displayed on the screen. Step 1. Flash from file. Click this button, navigate to the location where you saved the Loc-OS ISO file, and select it, StatB2. Select Target. Insert the USB drive into your computer, then click Select Target. Etcher will display the available drives. Be very careful to select your USB drive and not any other drive. Etcher helpfully labels the drives, showing their capacity and name, which helps to avoid selecting the wrong one. However, you should still double-check carefully. Step 3. Flash. Once you have confirmed the ISO file and the target drive, click the Flash button. Etcher will prompt you to enter administrator or sudo credentials. This is normal, as writing to the drive requires higher privileges. Enter your password and confirm. This process may take a few minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. You will see a progress bar. Please do not remove the USB drive or close the Etcher program whilst this is in progress. Once the writing process is complete, Etcher will automatically run a verification step, reading the contents it has just written to ensure they match the source file. This serves as a further integrity check. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive once this is finished. Simply eject it safely. Once the Loc-OS USB boot drive has been created, insert it into the ThinkPad X200 and switch on the power. As soon as the ThinkPad logo appears on the screen, immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS setup utility. In the BIOS setup interface, first press the F9 key to restore the default settings. Then press Enter to confirm. Next, press the F10 key to save and exit. Then press Enter to confirm. The ThinkPad X200 will now restart. When the ThinkPad boot screen reappears, press the F12 key to enter the boot menu. In the boot menu, select the USB HDD device and press Enter. We have now reached the Loc-OS boot menu. Here we can see that there are several options available, but for a smooth, standard installation on older hardware, the default option is usually the best choice. So the first option is the one we want, select it, and press the Enter key to confirm your choice. Our ThinkPad 200 laptop will boot directly from the USB drive into the fully featured Loc-OS Live Desktop, which runs entirely from the USB drive without accessing our internal hard drive. Even on older hardware such as the ThinkPad X200, Loc-OS boots up quite quickly. It took about half a minute. We are now on the Loc-OS LXDE Live Desktop. That's it. This is the Loc-OS LXDE desktop environment. The desktop is very clean. Whether using a dark or light theme, it looks quite elegant. The wallpaper is simple and tasteful. There are very few distracting elements. The desktop layout is also quite traditional. The bottom panel contains the taskbar, system tray, and application launcher. Within this live desktop environment of Loc-OS, you can test whether all the hardware on your ThinkPad X200 is functioning correctly. For example, Wi-Fi, audio, the touchpad, the keyboard, and USB ports. This gives you the opportunity to identify any compatibility issues before proceeding with the installation. You can also use the live environment to access your existing drives. If you haven't wiped the data yet, you can copy any files you need, although you should have already backed them up. Within Loc-OS's live desktop, you can also test or try out the operating system's various features. All of this ensures that Loc-OS is compatible with your ThinkPad X200's hardware before installation. If the tests go smoothly, we can start the installation. On the Loc-OS Linux live desktop, you will see an icon labeled Install Loc-OS. Double-click it to launch the installer. The Loc-OS Linux installer is based on the Calamares framework, a graphical installer with a clean interface and intuitive operation. It is generally very stable and reliable, and is used by many Linux distributions. It will guide us step by step through the entire installation process. Step 1. Set your preferred language. This is usually set to your preferred language by default, but you can scroll through the list and select any language you prefer. This determines the display language of the installer interface, and more importantly, will automatically configure the system's regional settings, keyboard layout, and some system prompts. Click Next to continue. Step 2. Set your location. Click on your region on the map, or select your continent from the drop-down menu, then choose your city or region. This will set your location and time zone, ensuring that your clock is always accurate. Click Next to continue. Step 3. Set your keyboard layout. You can also test your keyboard layout in the text box provided. Here I have selected the US English keyboard layout, so unless you are using a different layout, please select this one. Click Next to continue. Step 4. Partitioning. This is the most crucial step. For most users, particularly if you wish to make Loc-OS Linux your sole operating system, or if you are prepared to erase everything on your ThinkPad X200's hard drive, please select Erase Disk. This is the simplest option and is strongly recommended for most users installing Loc-OS Linux as their sole operating system. It will erase your entire hard drive and automatically create the necessary partitions. If you choose this option, please ensure you have backed up your data. Click Next to continue. Step 5. Create your user account. Enter your name, username, computer name, and password. Here, you can also tick the boxes to log in automatically without entering a password, and to use the same password for the administrator account. Be sure to remember your password, as you will need it to log into the system and carry out administrative tasks in future. Click Next to continue. Step 6. Review your installation summary. The installer now displays a summary of everything we have configured, including language, location, keyboard, partition scheme, and user accounts. Please read through this carefully. Pay particular attention to the partition section. Confirm that the correct hard drive is selected and that the partition layout looks correct. If you spot any errors, click the back button to return and make corrections. If everything looks correct, click Install. Step 7. The system begins installation. During this time, the installer will copy files, install the system, and configure everything. The installer will copy files from the USB drive to the hard drive, install the bootloader, and configure the system. On this ThinkPad X200 laptop, the Loc-OS Linux installation process actually took about 7 minutes. During this time, you will see a progress bar and various messages explaining what is happening at each stage, as well as slides from Loc-OS Linux. You do not need to do anything at this stage. Step 8. Installation complete. The installer informs us that Loc-OS Linux has been successfully installed. We can now choose to restart and boot into the new system. We will now click Done to restart the computer and apply the new operating system. Once the screen goes black during the restart, you must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to ensure your ThinkPad X200 does not attempt to boot from the USB again. And now comes the moment when we witness a miracle. We are about to boot the system from a solid-state drive for the very first time. We can see the Grub bootloader beginning its countdown, and the sysv initialization scripts running one after the other at breakneck speed. We have now reached the LXDM login manager. After entering our password, we log in to the brand new Loc-OS Linux. So, as we explore Loc-OS, let's talk a little about this operating system as I understand it, because, unlike Ubuntu or Mint, Loc-OS isn't widely known, and I think it's worth understanding its philosophy. Loc-OS Linux is a distribution created by a small but dedicated team of developers with a very clear mission: to keep older computers in use. It does not attempt to cater to everyone's needs, nor does it chase the latest desktop trends, nor does it try to imitate macOS. Its purpose is to provide a modern, secure, and genuinely user-friendly operating system upgrade for hardware similar to that of a ThinkPad X200. A dual-core processor, a few gigabytes of RAM, and a mechanical hard drive, without requiring users to upgrade their hardware. Version 23, nicknamed Tutti, Italian for with everything, indicates that, compared to previous releases, this is a highly comprehensive and feature-rich edition. It is built on Debian 12. This is a significant detail, as it means that Loc-OS inherits Debian's vast software repositories, its stability-first release philosophy, and its long track record of security support. What you get is not some obscure, unsupported base system, but a tried and tested, stable and reliable Debian foundation, specifically tailored for older, low-specification hardware. Now, the Loc-OS team has made an interesting technical decision that I believe is particularly relevant to us today. Loc-OS uses sysv init rather than systemd. If you're new to Linux, here's a brief explanation. The init system is the first process to run when a computer boots up. It's responsible for starting all the other services the system requires: networking, logging, desktop sessions, and so on. Since around 2015, the vast majority of mainstream Linux distributions, including Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, and many others, have switched to systemd as their init system. It is powerful, feature-rich, and performs well on modern hardware. However, systemd does come with certain overheads. It handles a great deal of work: logging, device management, network configuration, and so on. And on older, resource-constrained hardware, these overheads can be noticeably reflected in boot times and background memory usage. Loc-OS sticks with the simpler, older sysv init system, thereby maintaining a lean architecture. On a machine like our X200, where every megabyte of memory is crucial, Loc-OS boots faster and consumes fewer background resources. This is a deliberate trade-off, sacrificing some of systemd's advanced features in exchange for a lighter resource footprint. And for a machine like this, it is absolutely the right choice. The second distinctive feature of Loc-OS is its native package manager, known as LPKG. However, rest assured that it does not replace the standard Debian package tools with which you may already be familiar. Loc-OS still fully supports traditional .d packages and the underlying apt package manager, so the apt install command you use on Debian or Ubuntu will still work here. LPKG coexists alongside this as an additional Loc-OS specific packaging option, enabling the team to distribute their carefully selected software and tweaks in a lightweight format. We'll be demonstrating and using both systems in the rest of this video so that you can familiarize yourself with them. As for desktop environments, Loc-OS 23 actually offers a variety of choices. The flagship and lightest option is LXDE, a lightweight X11 desktop environment available in both 32-bit and 64-bit versions. In addition, there is an XFCE version available exclusively in 64-bit, which features a more modern visual style, but consumes slightly more system resources. Recently, the project has even launched a KDE Plasma version designed specifically for users with newer hardware who wish to enjoy a more feature-rich desktop environment. For a machine like our X200, especially when using the standard 2 GB of RAM and a mechanical hard drive, LXDE is undoubtedly the best choice, and it is the desktop environment we will be using throughout this video. LXDE is designed with simplicity in mind. It features a traditional desktop layout, complete with a taskbar, start menu, and minimalist visuals, with all components being efficient and resource-light. It looks more like a classic Linux desktop from the 2010s than a flashy modern design, and that is precisely its strength. Every megabyte of memory saved can be used to run your applications. One further point worth mentioning, the Loc-OS community has already tested it, even on very old hardware. We were talking about machines equipped with Pentium M processors and just 2 GB of DDR RAM, which are older and less powerful than our X200. This gives me great confidence that our Core 2 Duo ThinkPad will run this distribution smoothly, with plenty of headroom to spare. To summarize the system we're using, Loc-OS 23 Tutti, based on Debian 12, which uses the lighter sysv init rather than systemd, supports both traditional .deb and apt packages, as well as its own LPKG system, and features the LXDE desktop environment, specifically chosen for its low resource usage. For a machine like the ThinkPad X200, it is certainly one of the most suitable distributions. You might well ask why I've chosen Loc-OS over other lightweight distributions. I know some of you may already be considering other lightweight distributions, such as Lubuntu, the XFCE edition of Linux Mint, Anti-X, MX Linux, Puppy Linux, and so on. So let's take a few minutes to have a frank discussion about where Loc-OS stands in this field, because it would be unfair to simply declare, this is the best, without explaining why. For many years, Lubuntu has been the go-to choice for a lightweight Ubuntu with LXDE. However, in recent releases, Lubuntu has actually migrated its default desktop environment from LXDE to LXQt, which is a rewriting of LXDE based on the Qt framework. LXQt remains relatively lightweight, but it does introduce some additional system overhead compared to the classic LXDE. More importantly, Lubuntu has inherited Ubuntu's systemd-based infrastructure and its overall release cycle, which is geared more towards modern hardware without the need for fancy features, rather than truly aging machines, such as first-generation Core 2 Duo dual-core laptops. Linux Mint XFCE is a brilliant distribution, and I would never discourage anyone from trying it, but whilst XFCE is lighter than distributions such as GNOME or KDE, it is still noticeably heavier than LXDE, and Mint's overall design is geared towards a broader range of hardware rather than specifically targeting low-end hardware that can still boot a modern kernel. The philosophies behind Anti-X and MX Linux are very similar to those of Loc-OS. Both are based on Debian and prioritize low resource usage. Anti-X, in particular, is renowned for supporting sysv or other init alternatives rather than mandating the use of systemd. They are both excellent choices, and if you have used and enjoyed them before, many of Loc-OS's features will feel familiar to you. To be honest, Loc-OS, Anti-X, and MX Linux occupy a similar market niche, and a discerning user can choose any of them based on their own needs. I believe the reason Loc-OS has earned a place in today's tutorial is that it combines several factors. It is explicitly and solely focused on reviving old hardware, treating this as its core mission rather than just one of many use cases. It uses sysv init by default, eliminating the need for users to seek out special versions. It uses LXDE as its primary and most fully featured desktop environment, rather than as a secondary option, and its proprietary package manager, LPKG, provides its small team with a means to push carefully curated tweaks and software tailored specifically for its users. Furthermore, the community is worth mentioning. Loc-OS boasts an active and hands-on team of developers. You'll find them answering questions directly on platforms such as the LXDE community forum. They also frequently release minor updates and even roll out AHS advanced hardware support, versions for users running Loc-OS on newer machines, catering to their need for a lightweight experience and support for more modern drivers. This demonstrates that it is an actively maintained project that genuinely listens to the feedback of users running Loc-OS on specialized or older hardware. So, my honest opinion, and the reason we've chosen it today, is this. If your sole aim is to revamp my oldest, most resource-constrained laptop so that it runs smoothly, then Loc-OS is tailor-made for the job. This is something that other distributions aimed at a broader user base simply cannot match. If, after watching this video, you'd like to try Anti-X or MX Linux on another machine, you'll understand 90% of the concepts, as their philosophies are very similar. But as far as our X200 is concerned today, we've chosen Loc-OS 23 LXDE, and I think it's excellent. Right then, everyone, that's the complete step-by-step guide to installing Loc-OS 23 LXDE on this lovely ThinkPad X200 in real time. We started with a machine that was struggling under the weight of bloated modern software, but we've transformed it into a responsive, lightweight workstation with a memory footprint of just over 130 MB. This project is a testament to the power of open source software and embodies the true spirit of the Silicon Valley revival. We need not discard perfectly functional hardware simply because modern, mainstream operating systems have become obsolete. Thank you very much for watching. Stay curious and see you in our next video.